There comes a time in every life when silence is no longer a sanctuary, when stillness no longer shields, when the weight pressing upon your spirit becomes so heavy, you wonder if your bones can bear it. And yet, chosen one, here you are, breathing, standing, moving, living. You have walked through valleys where the shadows did not merely lurk, they swallowed. You have crossed waters that threatened to drown you, yet still you rise from them with the shimmer of survival on your skin. You are not like the others, not because you were given a path paved with roses, but because your steps were laid upon thorns, and still your feet carried you. God gave you a strength that others could not endure, not because you were meant to suffer more, but because your soul was carved with the endurance of eternity. It is not weakness that sings through your story, it is triumph. It is not despair that defines your journey, it is defiance. You were not chosen to crumble, you were chosen to climb. There are those who will look at you and never know the storms you have swallowed, never know the nights when you screamed into your pillow, never know the tears that carved rivers through your cheeks. They will see your light and believe it came easily, as if heaven sprinkled it upon you without the soil of your pain. But you and God know the truth. Every ray of light that shines through you was birthed in the dark. Every word of wisdom that flows from you was born of wounds. Every ounce of strength you carry was pressed out of you in crushing places. You are not ordinary, and that is why your burden has never been ordinary. When God marked you as chosen, He was not promising ease. He was promising that no matter how heavy the load, your back would not break. He was promising that even when your knees hit the floor, they would bend in prayer, not in surrender. He was promising that even if the fire raged hotter, your spirit would walk out unburned. That is who you are. That is the fabric from which you were made. Do not envy those who live soft lives, who have never had to wrestle with shadows at midnight, who have never been torn apart by betrayal, who have never lost everything only to rise again. For while their lives may appear smooth, their strength remains untested. And what is strength that has never endured the storm? What is light that has never wrestled the dark? You, chosen one, carry a weight that proves your calling. You have been given a mountain so that your voice may echo when you stand on top of it. You have been given scars so that others may believe healing is possible. You have been given battles so fierce, because within you God planted the courage to win. Your tears water the soil of resilience. Your wounds testify of triumph. Your very existence is evidence that God places His heaviest loads on the shoulders that can carry the glory of survival. Do not think your trials have been wasted. Every heartbreak, every loss, every sleepless night, they are bricks in the foundation of your strength. While others crumble at the whisper of difficulty, you have learned to breathe in the storm. You have learned to walk with trembling legs and still arrive at the destination. You have learned that the breaking was never the end, it was the beginning of a stronger you. God does not waste suffering, He molds it, He bends it, He shapes it into wisdom, into compassion, into fire. He makes of it a crown for your head, a testimony for your lips, a light for your path. And so when others falter under loads half your size, understand, it is not because they are weak, but because they were not chosen for that kind of weight. It is not their burden to bear, it is yours. And because it is yours, it will not destroy you. Because it is yours, it will refine you. You may ask, why me? Why must my shoulders ache? Why must my heart be broken so many times? Why must my path seem lonelier than the rest? Hear me when I tell you, because you are called to walk where others cannot. You are called to stand when others fall. You are called to shine when others are swallowed by night. God gave you strength others cannot carry because He entrusted you with a mission only you can fulfill. You are the evidence of His power. You are the song of His faithfulness. You are the living scripture written with blood and tears and survival. If your journey were light, your story would not pierce the hearts of those still walking in darkness. If your journey were soft, your victory would not stir the weary. But because your journey is steep, your climb will inspire. Because your path is narrow, your survival will lead. Because your trials are great, your triumph will echo. There are those who will not understand you, who will look at your resilience and mistake it for arrogance, who will look at your strength and call it hardness. They cannot fathom the price you paid to stand here, the long nights, the loneliness, the cries that shook your chest. They cannot see that your strength was not gifted, it was ground out of you by fire. Do not let their misunderstanding make you small. Do not shrink your light to comfort the eyes of those who fear its brightness. Do not lessen your roar to soothe those who prefer silence. You were chosen to carry, not to crumble. You were chosen to rise, not to shrink. Your resilience is not for you alone. It is for every weary soul who will see you and believe that they too can endure. There is a holiness in the weight you carry, a sanctity in the strength God placed upon you. Others will never know what it means to bend but not break, to bleed but not die, to cry but still walk forward. But you know, and because you know you are dangerous to the darkness, because you know you are a threat to despair, because you know you are a light that cannot be hidden. The enemy thought your burden would break you, but God knew it would build you. The enemy thought your sorrow would silence you, but God knew it would give you a louder voice. The enemy thought your loneliness would kill you, but God knew it would draw you closer to Him. And so, chosen one, the very thing designed to crush you has become the thing that crowns you. You are stronger than you believe, stronger than the memories that haunt you, stronger than the mistakes that try to bind you, stronger than the mistakes that try to bind you, stronger than the doubts that whisper you are not enough. You are enough because God made you enough. You are chosen because God chose you before you breathed your first breath. He carved your name into His palm and said, this one will carry what others cannot. This one will walk through fire and come out shining. This one will weep and still sing. This one will stumble and still stand. This one will fall and still rise. That is you, that is who you are. And no amount of pain, no weight of sorrow, no trial of fire can take that away. So lift your head, chosen one. Straighten your back beneath the weight, not because it is light, but because it is holy. Walk forward, not because the path is easy, but because it is yours. Speak loudly, not because the world is ready, but because your voice is needed. Let your scars shine like medals. Let your tears testify like rivers. Let your strength stand like mountains. And when the night grows long and the silence feels suffocating, remember, God gave you strength others cannot carry. Not because you are meant to suffer more, but because you are meant to show what survival looks like. Not because you are meant to bend forever, but because you are meant to rise higher. Not because you are meant to break, but because you are meant to shine. And when you look back on the road you have walked, you will see it. Every stone you stumbled upon became a stepping stone. Every wound you endured became a well of wisdom. Every tear you shed watered the soil of your strength. You will see that the burden did not bury you, it birthed you. It birthed a soul so strong, so luminous, so anchored in God, that nothing on this earth can shake it. That is the gift of being chosen. That is the power of the strength you carry. And so go, chosen one. Rise again, walk again, shine again. The world awaits the sound of your survival, and heaven rejoices every time you stand. And yet, beloved chosen one, do not mistake the quiet in your life as abandonment. For silence is not God's absence but His preparation. There are seasons when the heavens seem hushed, when prayers bounce off the walls of your room and fall back into your chest heavy as stone, and you wonder if the one who gave you this burden has forgotten you beneath it. But the truth is, silence is His whisper, silence is His molding, silence is the sacred place where roots grow deeper than any eye can see. A tree that stands tall against storms does not do so because of the beauty of its leaves, but because of the depth of its unseen roots. And so it is with you. When you feel unseen, when you feel unheard, when you feel hidden away while others are celebrated, understand that God is deepening your roots. He is not punishing you, He is preparing you. He is not ignoring you, He is investing in you. Every silent season is a sacred season, for it is in those moments that your strength is fortified in ways the world cannot measure. You were not called to carry what others can carry. You were called to carry what would crush them. Do you hear that? You were entrusted with the unbearable, and yet you still stand. That alone is evidence of the divine hand upon you. And though there are days you feel weary, though there are nights you beg to put the load down, though there are mornings when you rise with trembling bones, remember this: it is not by your strength alone that you stand. It is the breath of God within you that holds you. It is His Spirit that girds your spine when it threatens to collapse. It is His love that whispers into your shattered soul, "Not yet, child, not yet. There is more for you to do." And so even when you think you cannot take another step, somehow you take one. Even when you think you cannot breathe another breath, somehow it fills your chest. Even when you think you cannot bear another heartbreak, somehow you live again. This is not chance. This is not accident. This is the evidence that you were chosen and empowered beyond the limits of human strength. But hear me clearly, for I must tell you the truth. Chosen ones are often misunderstood, often isolated, often feared. You will wonder why friends drift, why loved ones betray, why crowds cheer others while ignoring you. It is because chosen ones do not walk the same road as the rest. You are set apart, and to be set apart is to be separated. It is to walk the narrow road where companions are few, and applause is scarce. But do not let loneliness trick you into believing you are forgotten, for even when human hands fail you, divine hands hold you. Even when human voices fall silent, heaven sings over you. Even when human eyes turn away, God's eyes never leave you. This road of isolation is not to break you. It is to show you that your strength comes not from the approval of others, but from the God who placed His breath in you. Do not despise your solitude, for in that solitude you will hear the voice of God more clearly than the noise of the crowd. And yes, there will be times when you cry out for relief, and it does not come, when you pray for the mountain to move, and it stands unmoved, when you beg for the storm to still and the winds keep raging. In those moments, know this: sometimes the miracle is not that the storm is calmed, but that you are. Sometimes the miracle is not that the mountain is removed, but that your legs are given strength to climb it. Sometimes the miracle is not that the fire is extinguished, but that you emerge from it without the smell of smoke. That is the kind of miracle God gives to His chosen ones: the miracle of endurance, the miracle of resilience, the miracle of peace in the middle of the chaos. Others may never understand it, may never see it, may never acknowledge it, but you know what it means to wake up after a night of sorrow with breath in your lungs, and hope flickering in your chest like a stubborn flame that refuses to be extinguished. That is the miracle. That is your strength. That is your testimony. You must also understand, chosen one, that the weight you carry is not simply for you. It is for those who will come after you. Those who will look upon your scars and see that healing is possible. Those who will hear your story and find the courage to rise again. Your life is a lamp to those still lost in darkness, a map to those wandering without direction, a song to those who have forgotten how to sing. You carry not only your own hope, but the hope of many who will never meet you, never know your name, yet will find their courage through your survival. This is why your burden is heavy, because your victory is meant to light more lives than your own. Do not think your story ends with you. It will ripple into generations. It will inspire strangers. It will be the evidence of God's goodness in the lives of people you will never see. That is why your back is strong, why your spirit is unyielding, why your tears water seeds. you may never harvest. You are chosen, not simply for yourself, but for the world that needs your testimony. And yes, the road is weary. Yes, the nights are long. Yes, the scars are many. But do not despise them, for they are the proof that you endured. They are the proof that you did not give up when everything in you screamed to surrender. They are the proof that the darkness could not kill your light. You are not broken by your scars. You are beautiful because of them. You are not diminished by your pain. You are magnified because of it. Every line upon your heart is a verse in the poem of survival. Every wound that healed is a stanza in the song of triumph. Every tear that fell is a note in the melody of resilience. And one day you will sing that song without shame, without hesitation, without fear. One day you will lift your head and declare to the world, I carried what others could not, and still I rise. So walk boldly, chosen one. Do not bow your head beneath the sneers of those who cannot comprehend you. Do not quiet your voice because others cannot handle the weight of your truth. Do not soften your step because your strength intimidates those who have never faced their own trials. This is not arrogance, it is authenticity. This is not pride, it is power. This is not conceit, it is calling. You have been chosen to walk where others falter, to endure where others quit, to shine where others fade. And though the world may not understand you, heaven does. Though men may not applaud you, angels do. Though friends may not celebrate you, God does. And that is enough. That has always been enough. And when you grow weary, and you will remember this, your strength is not infinite, but God's is. Your power is not unbreakable, but His is. Your endurance is not eternal, but His is. And it is He who placed His Spirit in you. You are not carrying this alone. You never have. When you walk, He walks with you. When you cry, He bottles every tear. When you fall, He reaches to lift you. And when you triumph, He crowns you. The load you bear is not yours only. It is God's as well. That is why you are still here. That is why you can still stand. That is why the story is not over. Because you were chosen not just to carry the burden but to carry it with God. So rise once more, chosen one. Wipe your tears and straighten your spine. Step forward even if your legs tremble. Open your mouth even if your voice shakes. Shine your light even if the darkness presses harder. You were given strength others cannot carry, and that strength will not fail you. You will not crumble. You will not be crushed. You will not be destroyed. You will endure. You will overcome. You will rise. And when you do, the world will know this is what it means to be chosen. And even now, as you carry the invisible weight that bends your back and bruises your spirit, know this with certainty. Every step you take is not wasted. Every breath you draw is not in vain. Every struggle you face is not without meaning. The chosen life is not measured in the applause of men, but in the quiet victories of the soul. It is measured in the days you did not give up, in the nights you did not let despair consume you, in the moments you chose to rise when surrender seemed easier. These small holy victories are the stitches of strength woven into the fabric of your being. They may not look like much to the watching world, but in the realm of heaven they resound as thunderous declarations. You endured, you rose, you remained faithful. There will be moments when you wonder if you have been cursed, when the burden feels more like punishment than blessing, when the silence feels more like abandonment than preparation. But I tell you now, you are not cursed. You are carved. Carved by a divine hand that knows the shape of your destiny, carved like stone that must endure the hammer and the chisel to reveal the statue within, carved like wood that must be whittled and shaped to become the instrument of music. The blows you endure are not to destroy you, they are to reveal you. The weight you carry is not to crush you, it is to crown you. The scars you wear are not to shame you, they are to sanctify you. Everything that has been placed upon your shoulders was measured by the one who made those shoulders, and he knew they would not break. You think you are weak, but he calls you mighty. You think you are ordinary, but he calls you chosen. You think you are alone, but he surrounds you with his presence even when you cannot feel it. The chosen path is not the easy path, and you must release the illusion that it should be. Easy paths create shallow souls, but hard paths carve deep wells. And you, beloved, are a deep well. You are the one who can sit with the broken because you have been broken. You are the one who can comfort the weary, because you have been weary. You are the one who can lift the fallen because you have fallen and risen again. This is why God entrusted you with this strength, because he knew you would not hoard it. He knew you would use it to carry not only yourself, but to help others rise. He knew your survival would not be silent. It would be a trumpet call to others still buried in despair. This is why the chosen carry more, endure more, suffer more, because their victory is not just for themselves, it is for all who watch and wonder if hope is still alive. And let me remind you, your pain has not gone unnoticed. Not a single tear has escaped his sight, not a single sigh has been ignored, not a single cry has been unheard. When you thought you were alone, he was nearer than your breath. When you thought you were abandoned, he was carrying you in ways you could not see. When you thought you had nothing left, it was his strength that lifted your chin and carried you another mile. You did not survive because of chance. You survived because you were held. You did not endure because of luck. You endured because you were chosen. And being chosen means that even in your lowest moment, you were not forsaken. Being chosen means that even when you broke, you were never beyond repair. Being chosen means that even when the world counted you out, God counted you in. But do not think the weight you carry is endless. The season of pressing does not last forever. The night does not reign without end. The winter does not keep spring from blooming. There will come a day when the burden will lift, when the load will feel lighter, when the strength you have built will be revealed not as endless struggle but as unstoppable resilience. And in that day, you will see that everything you endured was leading to something greater, that every pain was planting seeds of purpose, that every storm was watering the soil of your destiny. You will see that the weight was not your enemy but your teacher, that the sorrow was not your curse but your sculptor, that the isolation was not your death but your rebirth. And when that day comes, you will stand taller than you ever imagined, stronger than you ever believed, freer than you ever dreamed. So hold on, chosen one, hold on when your hands tremble, hold on when your heart aches, hold on when your knees buckle, hold on when everything in you says to let go. Hold on, not because it is easy, but because you were built to endure what others cannot. Hold on, not because the road is gentle, but because you are not walking it alone. Hold on, not because you see the end, but because you trust the one who does. You were chosen for this, not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Not because you are flawless, but because you are faithful. Not because you are the strongest, but because you are surrendered. And that surrender is where your strength flows from. That surrender is what turns burdens into blessings, trials into triumphs, pain into purpose. Lift your eyes, chosen one. Do not fix them on the dust of your suffering, but on the horizon of your promise. Do not stare at the weight on your shoulders, but at the wings God is building beneath them. Do not dwell on the wounds of yesterday, but on the healing of tomorrow. For you are not defined by what broke you. You are defined by what you became after the breaking. You are not defined by the load you carried, but by the strength that carried you. You are not defined by the shadows you walked through, but by the light you now shine. And the world needs that light. The world needs your story. The world needs the sound of your survival. The world needs to see that someone carried what seemed unbearable and lived to tell of it. So rise again. Rise in the morning when the night still clings to you. Rise in the silence when no one claps for you. Rise in the pain when your body begs for rest. Rise in the loneliness when the world has forgotten your name. Rise because rising is who you are. Rising is what you were chosen for. Rising is the testimony that shakes the foundations of despair. Chosen one, You are the living proof that God places His heaviest loads on the shoulders that will turn them into glory. You are the reminder that strength is not the absence of struggle but the mastery of it. You are the evidence that the chosen are never crushed, only carved, never forsaken, only fortified, never destroyed, only destined. And when the day comes that you stand at the summit of all you endured, do not forget to look back at the valleys you survived. Do not forget to honor the tears, the scars, the loneliness, the breaking, for they were not wasted. They were the path that carried you here. And with a heart overflowing with gratitude, you will finally understand why the burden was so heavy, why the road was so long, why the nights were so dark, because only then could the dawn be so beautiful, only then could the victory be so sweet. Only then could the chosen one you have become stand in full bloom, radiant with the strength God placed within you, shining with the glory of survival, crowned with the weight of all you carried and overcame. And if your heart has grown weary of waiting, if your soul has grown restless from the weight of unanswered prayers and unfulfilled promises, let me whisper to you that the waiting itself is part of the strength you have been given. The chosen are not only asked to carry heavy loads, they are asked to wait longer than others, to trust deeper than others, to believe beyond the point where belief feels rational. The chosen must learn patience, not as a passive act, but as a fierce defiance, a declaration that though the promise tarries, it will come. Though the night lingers, the morning will rise. Though the burden presses, it will one day lift. Waiting does not diminish you. It refines you. Waiting does not weaken you. It teaches you to lean on God when your own legs tremble. Waiting does not steal your promise. It strengthens your hands so that when the promise arrives, you will have the capacity to hold it. You were chosen to wait because waiting purifies the soul and proves the heart. And only those refined by waiting can carry the full weight of glory. And while you wait, understand that your life has already been whispering to the world around you. Even when you think no one sees, someone is watching. Even when you feel invisible, your courage is lighting the way for another. Even when you believe your struggle is silent, your endurance is shouting louder than words ever could. Every act of resilience, every decision to rise when you could have stayed down, every choice to breathe when despair told you to quit, it is not only shaping you, it is shaping those who witness it. This is why your burden is heavier, because your life is a mirror to the world, reflecting the strength of God in human form. Others will not say it, may never thank you, may never acknowledge it, but deep within their spirits they will draw from your well of survival. And when their own storms rage, they will remember the one who endured, and they will believe endurance is possible. Do not despise the cracks in your life, for it is through those cracks that the light escapes. If you had never been broken, you would never have shined the way you do now. If you had never been pressed, the oil of your strength would not flow. If you had never been rejected, you would not know the sweetness of being chosen by God Himself. You may look at the shattered places of your life and see ruin, but heaven looks and sees radiance. You may look at the scars and see shame, but heaven looks and sees survival. You may look at the burden and see cruelty, but heaven looks and sees calling. Every crack, every scar, every wound is a testament that you lived through what could have killed you. And the chosen ones are never remembered for their comfort. They are remembered for their survival. They are remembered for carrying what others could not. And when despair tempts you to question your worth, when fatigue whispers that you are too weak, when loneliness convinces you that you are forgotten, remind yourself of this. God knew exactly who you were when He called you. He knew your fears, your failures, your flaws. He knew the mistakes you would make, the tears you would shed, the doubts that would consume you. And still He said, "This one is mine. This one will carry my glory. This one will endure what others cannot." Being chosen does not mean being perfect. It means being purposed. It does not mean you will never stumble. It means you will never stay down. It does not mean you will never break. It means you will never remain shattered. It does not mean you will never doubt. It means your faith will always find its way back. And so, with trembling hands and weary bones, you still walk, you still breathe, you still rise. That is the mark of the chosen, imperfect yet unshakable, wounded yet unstoppable, fragile yet unbreakable. The chosen ones often look ordinary in the eyes of the world. They live quiet lives, work unseen jobs, walk unnoticed streets, but inside them burns a fire that cannot